Welcome to Rowdy Red Zone. I am your host, Carter Helbig. Rowdy Red Zone is a sports-focused show designed to highlight the accomplishments of Peters Township High School sports, produced by the sports broadcasting class. Thank you for joining us on our first episode. Peters Township Athletics have run away this season. The cross-country team competed in quite a few matches, and the team got off to an amazing start. Gabe headed over to the meet to see the teams in action.
While cross-country is often thought of as an individualized sport, you need to be able to plan and work together as a team if you want to be able to succeed.
We can pack during a run, like where we have several of the kids on the team, like around the same speed. We could run to the finish line all like together or very close to each other so that we can get more placings. That's a way we can work together to win a meet, is definitely packing. Our practices aren't like all day. Like they only last till like max 5 o'clock. So I typically will get home and I'll have plenty of time to do my work.
A typical meet is about 3 miles long, which is a longer distance than an average run, thus requiring a lot more skill, strategy, and technique than most realize. It's not simply just running. There's a lot that goes into it.
I was very impressed with how much stamina those kids have. I don't think I would be able to run for the full 5 kilometers, or for us Americans, 3.1 miles. But the team's training and preparation have paid off.
Yeah, so in track, I ran like short distances, so I can't even imagine running that much. So obviously when you're running longer distance, you're going to have like a lactic acid buildup. How did you see them like stretching before the race or anything?
Definitely. There was a lot, not so much like pre-stretching, but there was a lot of like post-recovery. And the number one thing I saw was getting the shoes off and ice packs and water and hydrating, because that's like one of the biggest like post-recovery things that I saw.
So yeah, Jacob was talking about like packing. How would you say that like affected the races at all?
I would say when like that little part when you're actually on the trail, I saw like a group of, I think it was one of my B-roll shots, like 4 or 5 people, like guys just packing together, so it makes it like physically impossible for the other team to get past.
So obviously when you're running longer distances, your body's going to be like, tired and stuff. Did you see like teammates who like weren't running, who like finished in the races, like picking up for the like people who were running?
Oh yes, there's a lot of team spirit, and I love that. Towards the end, I made sure to get lots of B-roll of that, because let's face it, it's just, if I were just to make a package about people, just shots when people are running, like there's just people running, what's special about it? It's that team spirit that really, makes this package special, and I made sure to get quite a few B-roll shots of that.
All right, well, thank you for your time, Gabe.
Of course, of course.
Cross country is all about strategic running, while softball is partly about how fast you can get around the bases. In addition to their spring season, Peters Township softball also forwards a fall ball season to help develop skills and sharpen skills. Jack Zukowski headed out to the Diamond to meet with the team.
Last year, Peters Township girls softball had a rough finish to the season with a 7-19-1 record. Many players went into the offseason looking for improvement, mostly in the form of postseason club teams. These fall ball teams offer a chance to help players build on weaker skills and better their already established skills. The team sponsored by Peters Township is coached by Chris Jenkins and has a variety of girls on the team, mainly from Peters Township.
This team's an improvement from last year because we've learned to build on each other's skills, and doing that has helped us improve as an overall team. The strengths of the team may have changed because we've improved on our own individual skills. The fall season helps us prepare for the spring season because it helps us to stay consistent and improve on the other skills that we might need, such as like infield fielding, outfield, and hitting.
The girls have improved a lot during the offseason and hope to come into the spring season as a strong and connected team.
The girls have been working very hard to improve their skills this offseason, and it's been paying off. From fly balls to pitching, they've started to find their stride and are hoping to start the spring season on an upswing from last year. Certainly, the changes they made this season will have a big effect on the outcome of the season.
So, Jack, you've had a lot of experience with girls practicing. How would you say their mentality affects the changes in the team?
I think their mentality has really just allowed them to accept that they needed to change and work on their skills. I think that's kind of a hard thing sometimes when you know you need improvement, especially after such like a rough finish as they had last year. And they came in with like the willingness to accept what they needed to work on, and that's how they, I think, so effectively started to improve from last year, just because they knew how they had to change.
Yeah, so you were talking about how they weren't really having like a super successful season last year. Would you say that the captains like stepped up at all to like help rally the team?
I'm not sure if there's much captains on the fall ball team, but I think just the community they had really helped them like rally together, as opposed to like some like outstanding members of the team. I'm pretty sure it's more just the community of like lifting each other up and helping each other improve is how they started to improve.
Yeah, so I'm blanking. Oh my god, I'm blanking. Did you see like any of like mentality like actually affect the like baseball at all or softball at all?
I think I did. I think I saw, they really worked on stuff like their fly balls and their pitching, which is like I think some like the most like mental like one-on-one things that you can have in baseball or softball, and that's what they really struggled with the most last year from what I heard from the team, and that's where they probably saw the biggest improvement. So they probably saw a much bigger mental improvement as long as their actual skills improvement.
Well, thank you for your time, Jack.
Of course.
Softball's main season is in the spring, so this was their practice in preparation for the later season. In contrast, a sport that is in full swing at the moment is golf, and the girls' golf team just wrapped up another amazing season.
While they compete as a team, golf requires an individual effort from each player. Golf is unique in that each match is played on a different venue and requires players to adapt to the new course and terrain. The Peters Township girls varsity golf team is having a great season, securing another WPIAO win. Their coach, Mr. Lacey, is guiding the girls to another championship victory.
So I would lead my team to another WPIAL championship. This will be our third WPIAL championship in a row if we win this year, just by helping the kids make smart decisions on the course. So one of the things we have to avoid is like a big number on a hole. And so sometimes they're in the woods and they kind of have to think about what are my options, and they can consult me and just think about, what would be the safest option, what would get me the lowest score on the hole.
The girls' golf team earned the state championship for the second year in a row. Ellie Benson, Sophia Severance, and Brooke Valchek set a new state record for lowest team score in 3A girls' golf history.
Thank you, Amanda. So you were talking about how like you went and interviewed Coach Lacey, right? How would you say he like led the team to another state championship?
So as I was interviewing him, he talked a lot about how a lot of it is a mental game, and now he has to mentally like prepare them and guide them onto what is the best decision for them and for the team.
So obviously you didn't shoot your B-roll. Were you able to view any of that mental aspect through editing?
Mm-hmm. So like all of the sound of the B-roll, very quiet, and everyone is very focused because they're trying to get the least amount of strokes. So that's really where I saw it.
So obviously the girls led on to another successful year. Did that start through Coach Lacey, or would you say it started through the girls themselves?
I would say it started through the girls themselves, because they have to have confidence in themselves, and they have to know that they can do it, and he just helps guide them.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, Amanda. The girls' golf road to the state title was one that was very inspirational. We have been cheering on the golf team all season. A sport that is constantly supporting all the other teams in our school is cheerleading. But some of us may not be aware of is that other ways that the cheer team reaches out to the members of our community in ways that go far beyond the sidelines.
Customs Kicking Cancer is a charity to raise awareness against prostate cancer. The president of the charity's daughter is on the cheerleading team, and he has given them blue pom-poms and blue ribbons in awareness since families on the team are currently being affected by the disease.
Hi, I'm Daniel Lucas. I am the founder and executive director of Customs Kicking Cancer. We are a cancer dedicated to raising awareness for prostate cancer. The month of September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, and the color is light blue. So for this year, we donated light blue palms to the Peters Township High School cheerleading team. They proudly and represented the charity at home games but away games. That was an honor for us to do that, and we were very grateful for the Peters Township High School cheer team to take that and embrace it.
This charity was really important to our cheer families this year, since some of them have been experiencing the effects of this disease. My dad found this charity just this year, and I think it is an important topic, since not many people talk about prostate cancer enough. It affects men all around the world, and it is the second most common cancer in men behind skin cancer.
So, Avery, why did your dad want to start this charity?
I think he wanted to start this charity because, like I said earlier, not a lot of people talk about it enough when it really is a big and serious disease in men's life. And my dad and our family have experienced the effects of it personally, and he wanted to reach out and help the cheer team personally because there are families on the team that are also experiencing this and going through this currently. And he just wants to get it out there, like in our community, and have people start talking about it so they can help.
So obviously you were talking about reaching out and helping the community. Has the community helped you guys in any way?
Yeah, they definitely have. We have events, they have motorcycle rides, they have fundraisers, we sell raffle tickets. He'll have charity rides where we do all of that. They have gift baskets, lots of ways they can raise money. There's a Facebook and an Instagram page that the community has started. People have started following. People have started showing up to our events, speaking publicly to people, to sports in the school. So yeah, it's definitely starting to get out there.
What strategies have the girls used to help put it out there?
Yeah, well, we were given blue palms and blue ribbons this year to cheer throughout the month of September, since September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. And that's really all we were able to do. We definitely had people come up and ask us hey, why are you wearing blue? What's the point of the blue palms? So I hope it's getting out there. I hope it was a way to help.
All right, well, thank you for your time, Avery.
Yep.
Glad the cheer team could provide even more support to our community. Keep up the great work. After a tough end to the field hockey season last year, the girls' field hockey team set a high standard for themselves, and through the regular season have delivered.
Peters Township Indians field hockey team is a combination of youth and veteran experience that is a team poised for a playoff run. Coming off a heartbreaking Whitfield championship loss, the Indians regrouped and reloaded with this year's squad. Returning captain Fini Forlini and new captain Anna Kokosinski spearhead the Indians, a team ranked number 1 in the section. New faces such as freshman goalie Julia Anderson and sophomore defender Cece Reyes lead a youth movement, replacing the 6 seniors from last year's team. After moving down sections, moving from Section 3A to 2A, the Indians became clear favorites. The team features 2 college commits, both seniors. With 6 seniors in total, the Indians have a strong veteran presence leading the team. Not only has the team worked on their on-the-field skills, they've become closer off the field too. Becoming better friends has increased their chemistry and trust on the field, making them even more prepared for the playoffs.
The team has worked a lot on not only getting better at the game, but also becoming closer as a team. We've put in a lot of work off the field, and it's starting to show with our chemistry and bonding on the field. Last year's overtime loss really made us realize our potential as a team, and this year we did move down a section, but we believe we're going to make it to playoffs and the Whitfield Championship again. And also this year, we really grew closer as a team and have worked extra hard at practice, so I think we can win this year.
The girls avenged last year's loss, defeating Fox Chapel 3-0 to become the Whitfield 2A champions. The girls fell in the first round of state playoffs 5-0 to Hershey. Congratulations on a great season, girls.
So, Brenda, obviously you've called a lot of games this year. What was your favorite part about calling the games?
I think my favorite part was just watching them win. They only had 1 loss in the section and obviously managed to win the Whitfield championship, so it was just fun seeing them win all the time.
How would you say the girls have significantly improved in this season?
I think, the improvements they've made, not only talent-wise, but, as friends, is really something to marvel at. Their defense, most of the games were shutouts or 1 goals. It was very dominant offensively. And then just coming closer as friends. Like all the they're all best friends on the team. They all love to play with each other. So I think that's what helped kind of drive them to a championship this year.
How have the captains led the team?
Yeah, I mean, so the captains, it's kind of, most years captains are only seniors, but this year Feeney was not only a captain as a junior, but also a senior. So she's a 2-year captain. And I think having that experience kind of helped, especially losing last year. And then Anna, very skilled player, very good captain, 2 very good captains who helped kind of drive them to the Whitfield Championship.
Well, thank you for your time, Max.
Thank you for having me, Carter.
The field hockey team capped off a great season with a victory over Fox Chapel to win the Whitfield crown, while the girls soccer team finished a nearly perfect season, 17 wins and only 1 tie.
So I think every year we have a pretty strong section. Traditionally, our section tends to be one of the most difficult in Quad A. This year, Upper St. Clair returned a lot of starters from last year. They were one of our losses last year, and a tough competitor for sure.
Peters Township girls soccer last secured themselves a playoff spot in the Whitfield playoffs with a 14-2-3 record. The girls fell to Fox Chapel in the first round of the section playoffs last year. This year, the team has a record of 16-0-1 and is led by Coach Pat. The team has secured wins against Upper St. Clair, Cannon Mac, and Mount Lebanon. The girls have high hopes of winning the 4A Section 2 and playing in not only the Whitfield Championship, but playing in the state championship. If Peters Township wants to avenge last year's playoff loss, they have to face the other section leaders and their other division rivals.
The team started out strong in the playoffs, beating Pine Richland 2-0. The girls' soccer team was able to continue their success in the Whitfield semifinals, defeating North Allegheny in overtime 2-1 in overtime. They came out with the Whitfield Championship against Seneca Valley in OT. The team made their bid for the state championship on Tuesday, but unfortunately fell short in the first round.
So, Joey, obviously you're a family member of Julius Frigel, so you've seen the team last year. How have they improved since last year?
They've been great, Last year they were losing these terrible games that they shouldn't have lost. They were just choking, and they would just play bad second halves. This year, they're coming out with vengeance. They're coming out destroying every single team. Even their ties against USC they played so hard against that team, and their state loss, they came out and they were still dominating. They were down 2-0, but Julius Frigel, she carries her team to come back 2-2. Fortunately, fell short, but that team, they just know how to win and they know how to play.
So, obviously they lost a lot of seniors last year. How would you say this year's seniors have stepped up and led the team?
Definitely. We got so many new captains. We have 4 captains, and I think 3 of them are seniors, 1 junior. They're definitely standing up for the team in terms of leadership. They're leading their teams to these Whitfield championships and the state playoffs. They're definitely replacing the talent that they lost to from the seniors that graduated.
How would you say their mentality has changed?
Yeah, like I said earlier, that they don't really ever think they're out of it in any game. They don't come into a game knowing it's going to be an uphill battle, so we're going to lose. They're coming into that game, we're going to win, and we're going to win by a lot.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, Joey. Congratulations to the team on a successful season. Of course, any season, any sport is not without its own challenges, bumps, and grinds. The girls' tennis team defeated Franklin Regional in the first round of the Whitfield tournament, but lost to runner-up Bethel Park in the second round. Leadership comes in many forms on and off the court, as our own Skylar Gaudio discovered when talking with team captain Kieran Moorhead.
High school tennis matches are a combination of individual victories and team scores, so the players have to work together to secure a win. Captain and first seed Kieran Moorhead recovered from an early ankle injury. Her efforts have helped her come back to be a great team leader.
I love being team captain, and I think it's very important just to encourage my teammates and make sure it's a fun and welcoming environment for them, because throughout my 4 years, I loved every single part of the experience, and I just want others to feel the same as well. Playing and winning is obviously super important, but it's not just that. Winning is great and everything, but I think it's our team spirit, really, and we just love each other on the team.
Although Kieran didn't lead the team to the state championship that everyone dreams of, she was able to lead our team and overcame her injuries. Sometimes the moral victories do win out.
So, Skylar, How did the team rally around Kieran's leadership?
So they really see her as a strong team leader, and being the captain, they really follow her lead through a lot of things that she gives them, like direction-wise, and she's a really good player, so they look up to her and try to play off of what she does.
Would you say she was like helping the players during like the games or the matches, whatever it's called?
Most definitely. Even when she got injured and she was on the sideline, she was still guiding them. And I'm sure it was hard for her because she wasn't experiencing it at the same time that they were during that. But she definitely leads them and guides them with everything that she can.
So obviously, like, she's the senior captain. Would you say that anyone else tried to fill her position to help lead the team?
They definitely look up to her and try to prepare themselves for who might be captain next year. The underclassmen look up to her and try to, do what she does and prepare themselves for when they might be captain and just look off of what she does and how good of a player that she is.
All right, well, awesome. Thank you for your time, Skylar. Certainly, the Peters Township fall sports season was filled with success and some learning as well. I hope you enjoyed catching up with the first episode of Rowdy Red Zone. Stick around for the second half of our show when we welcome football coach TJ Plack to talk about the team's season. Thanks for sticking around.
I'm Max Renda, and my project is almost done.
Hi, I'm Avery Lucas.
And how's the views?
It's not ideal, but it's fine.
Hey, books, get out your books. Oh, not this class, sorry.
Jack Sikowski, I'm Batman.
I'm Sam Talibi. I placed third in tic-tac-toe, and the Pirates are the first team in World Series history to come back from a 3-1 lead.
My name is Owen Tamoudi, and I'm here today.
I'm Joey Sprigal. I'm a fan of the Pittsburgh Penguins, the Pittsburgh Pirates.
My name is Gabe Adcock, and I'm recording this show.
Amanda Doty, Washington and Jefferson College.
Carter Helbig. I wear my underwear 4 ways. Outside in, inside out, backwards, and forwards.
My name is Skylar Gaudio. Can I just get back to editing?
I'm Emma Bell, and I'm done with this. Does anyone have a trash can?
Welcome back to the second half of the Rowdy Red Zone. Men's football completed last season with a trip to the state championship. Although they were defeated, the team is prepared throughout the fall for another memorable season.
We go into every season believing that we have a good group of kids that have experience last year going all the way, into the Whippeal Championship and the state playoffs, and we have a good, solid nucleus of those guys coming back. And the last couple of years, when you make it that far in the playoffs, you get an extra 6 to 8 weeks of practice. So some of our younger kids, they've had really like an extra season in the Whippeal playoffs, in the state playoffs. So we do have a lot of experience. We're getting better each and every week. So there's always that opportunity of once you get out of the Whippeal, making it through the state championship. The one thing we have here is we do have the way we practice is when our older guys are practicing defense, our younger guys are working with our offensive coaches, and then we switch halfway through practice. We do get our young guys ready for the JV games on Saturdays, and then we also play another game on Mondays for normally our 9th graders, maybe a couple new football players that are in 10th grade. So we do have 3 games, Friday night, Saturday, and Monday. The kids are all getting playing time. We film most of those games at home, and we do a lot of film study with our kids, and they can see what they've done right and what they've done wrong. So there's a lot of coaching. There's a lot of off-season time that goes into it as well.
It's an honor to have Coach Plack in the studio with us. Coach, thank you for agreeing to be here.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, anytime. How would you describe your coaching philosophy, and how has it changed throughout the years?
Drastically, just with anything. As a young coach, I think young coaches always think they know everything, and then you realize, I don't know anything. And as you go through it, it's the guys that you work with, it's the assistant coaches, it's the kids that you have on your team that actually make the difference. So, it's never about the head coach, it's never about the star player. It's about your coaching staff, the best coaching staff you can get, and it's about developing players from a young age moving forward.
How would you describe your path to becoming a football head coach?
Yeah, my path was, there's a couple failures in there, and I think you can see that with anybody as a as they develop. I started off as an assistant, and I got a head coaching job at South Fayette at a young age. As I just alluded to, thought I knew everything, or thought I knew more than I did. Ended up being released from that position, and the reason why I ended up at Peters Township coaching with Coach Milkovich. Then I went over to Bethel Park for a couple years as a special teams coordinator, running back coach, and ended up at Ringgold for a couple years, and then this position opened up. I've coached under a lot of really good guys in those years after I was a head coach at South Fayette, and really learned a lot. A lot of failures, a lot of different things, and I think we molded a pretty good program and a pretty good plan.
How do you believe your Peters is set apart from other teams in the Whitfield?
I think if you look in the South Hills, you'll see a lot of our teams in the South Hills are very similar. The Upper St. Clairs, the Peters Townships, Bethel Parks, Mount Lebanon's. I just think we have great kids. You look at all the athletic programs, you look at all the arts, the academics. We have really good kids. They do a great job in the classroom and a great job on the field. They're very consistent. They understand the high expectations with everything. And I think being here at Peters Township, it's something that I look forward to in coaching these type of kids.
How would you say you approach providing for the mental and physical aspects of your players?
Yeah, we talk about that all the time. It's not just a physical game; it's a mental game. And in a long season, a long week, I keep going back to academics because this is a school, and we do have high academics. And a lot of our kids get off the practice field at 6 o'clock, get home, eat, and they still have work to do later in the evening. So the mental aspect is very important. We preach one thing throughout our program, and it's 1-0. And we don't look at, hey, we have a big game against Upper St. Clair 3 weeks from now. We don't look at, hey, we're off on Saturday or anything like that. We just worry about the one game ahead of us, Friday night, and just to mentally just keep us sane and keep us all aligned. We always talk about don't trip over the molehill on the way up the mountain, and that's not something we want to do. We're always focused on one thing.
So how would you say you incorporate football lessons into life lessons with your players?
I think it just pretty much just comes. Each week you're always met with a different an issue. Maybe you never want the kids to get too high or too low. We really preach consistency within the program. A lot of people talk about discipline. How do you discipline kids? And we really just talk about being consistent in everything we do. And I think that's something that that moves forward in life, in your job, in your home life, with anything you do. If you can be consistent, I think that's discipline, and that's just the way that we talk to our kids.
Yeah. So obviously, throughout your coaching years, there's obviously going to be a few players that are significantly better than the average football player. How would you go about a conversation with encouraging them to go on to the next level?
The better kids?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's different. We have kids right now that are moving on and playing Division I football. We have kids that have interest in playing Division II and Division III. And we have kids that just want to go on and get on with their life in the academics. And everyone's different. Honesty is the number one thing. We have conversations with the student athlete. We have conversations with the parents as they're very into what's good, because they have to be. The recruiting process is with social media and everything, it's so large and it's so long that just the honesty and saying, hey, here's where I think you're at, here's where I think you can play, identify some of the schools that fit you both academically and athletically, and then you and your family have to make the best decision.
Yeah. So how would you evaluate and adapt to the strengths and weaknesses of your team?
Well, that's every year. We don't have an opportunity to recruit guys. Who we have is who we get. Hopefully the development through the youth football, middle school, and even our 2 JV teams, developing those guys, identifying who we are. We change both offensively and defensively depending on who we have. But we do have a strong coaching staff, and we identify those strengths, and we identify those areas we may be more weak in from year to year, and just develop a plan based on what our strengths are and what we know that our weaknesses are.
Yeah. So going back, you were talking about like involving the parents and stuff. How would you involve like the parents and the broader community in supporting the team?
I think our community does a great job of doing that. We have a quarterback club, our booster program, which actually reaches out a lot, through emails and things like that. Twitter, Instagram. We've really ramped up our social media this year. It's something that we wanted to accomplish, and we have a lot of people working towards that. And I think that's a great voice getting that out there. We had a great run last year, and we had people from throughout the community, guys I went to college with, friends, everyone, watching the games on TV, streamed and everything like that. So I think the community does a great job. They really came together last year to see our program go so far, and they're really invested this year as well.
What would you say your biggest challenge as a head coach is?
It was and is keeping. We're always going to have the same type of kid here, and we're always going to have kids that are really good at football and kids that are just on the team to have a uniform, or kids that play on special teams every night, kids that are backups, kids that are ready to go if their number's called. But the number one thing is keeping good coaches. When I first came here, Peters Township was a program that wasn't really on the map, and I tried to pull guys that I knew from St. Clair or Bethel and neighboring schools, and there was no way they were coming here. It was hard to find quality coaches. I have a good nucleus, but over the years we've been able to pull good young coaches. They've been with us for 5 to 8 years, and just be able to keep the number of coaches, quality coaches that we have, has been the most complicated and difficult thing to do, because there's not a lot of teachers in this building that are coaching here. It's a lot of guys that are out there in the business world, in the real world, that are traveling to Harrisburg and have to come back for practice. So it's hard to find those guys that their work schedule aligns with having a practice at 3:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
It's very difficult.
Yeah. So looking forward, what legacy would you hope to leave on the football program here?
Maybe the Boy Scout legacy, leave it better than it was before, and I think we're kind of accomplishing that. This is my 9th year. Hopefully next year will be my 10th year. I think there may have been 1 or 2 other coaches maybe that have been here 10 years as a football coach, and honestly, I go back to that word consistency. I think we've been very consistent. Once we build it up a little bit, we've won for the most part our majority of our games over the last 8 years, and just that. I just leave it better than it was before. Have a quality program and just being consistent.
Well, thank you for taking your time with us today, Coach, and good luck with the remainder of the playoffs.
Thanks a lot.
We hope that the team continues to show us highlights like this. When we return, Max and Sam are going to lead us into the overtime session. See you after break.
Welcome back to the overtime segment of the show. I'm Max Renda.
And I'm Sam Talibi.
We didn't want to wrap up without taking a quick look into the professional sports seasons on the heels of professional sports accomplishments and news over the last couple of months. The World Series just wrapped up with the Dodgers taking down the New York Yankees 4-1.
That's right, Max. While the defeat was complete, every single Dodgers win was a close affair. The Dodgers never winning by more than 3 runs. Oddly enough, neither superstar and MVP candidate Ohtani or Judge had any real impact on the series. Judge with a terrible postseason, and Ohtani sidelined in Game 2 with a shoulder injury. Speaking of the MLB season, the Chicago White Sox, where do I begin with them? They've been eliminated from the playoffs, the earliest ever in a season since the 2018 Orioles.
That's right, Sam. It's an absolute embarrassment for the city and for the team, especially seeing how the crosstown rival not only spends, but wins. Speaking of embarrassing baseball teams, the A's are packing up and headed to the Sin City.
That's right, Max. With the A's moving, the count of Las Vegas teams has jumped up to 4, taking both Oakland teams with them. joining the Vegas Golden Knights and the home of the WNBA MVP, the Las Vegas Aces. On top of WNBA superstars, Caitlin Clark wrapping up that rookie season.
Well, the first overall pick, Caitlin Clark, has put the league in the spotlight, picking right up where she left off at Iowa. Clark received 66 out of 67 votes to win the WNBA Rookie of the Year. Moving away from future GOATs, Simone Biles still has not called it quits. Is she the best gymnast ever, Sam?
Simone Biles might not be retired yet, but she will still go down as one of the greatest gymnasts of this generation, maybe even ever. One of the greatest American gymnastics squads in the 2016 Olympics, known as the Final Five. Well, switching gears now, we are nearly halfway through the NFL season. Who are your likely winners and losers, Max?
Yeah, the big winner remains the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, reigning Super Bowl champions, and nobody's taking them down this year. The Ravens continue to look like a top threat at the Chiefs' crown, with Lamar looking for his third MVP and back-to-back, and the Jets look pretty lost despite going all in on this year, Sam.
I like the strength of a few teams in the NFC, but the Detroit Lions, with just one tough loss, showed to be the team to beat in the NFC North, edging out both the Packers and the Vikings, who both have at least 2 losses, but I will not count out the Commanders, who launched their way into a Hail Mary victory a couple weeks ago against Chicago. The Steelers leading the division, but the Ravens are right behind after they come out of their bye week.
That's right, Sam. The Steelers sit atop of the AFC North, holding a 1-game lead over the Ravens. They need to stack up the wins before their star-studded back half of the schedule. Clashes against Commanders, 3 division games, all leading up to a Christmas Day matchup at home against the mighty Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, Max. The Ravens have a absolutely high-powered offense with Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, and the newly acquired Deontay Johnson. They also have a really solid defense, but right now the Steelers need to stack up on wins and scoring a lot more. Moving off topic of the NFL, we go to the NHL now. Utah making their NHL debut, only being known as Utah for 1 year, taking place at the Arizona Coyotes and sporting brand new looks. Not just Utah, but the Ducks and Kings have also gotten new logos, and I can smell it in the air, folks. The NHL season has gone into full swing.
That's right, Sam. I'm excited to see the NHL finally grow and watch Utah's new team this year. I'd love to see the Oilers finally take one home after falling short the past couple of seasons. But if I had to guess, I'd predict the Maple Leafs to finally return to the top, taking down the Dallas Stars, and finally bringing the Stanley Cup back to a Canadian team. The NBA season's 2 weeks in, Sam. I know who I think's winning. Who do you got?
Well, there's so many teams to choose from. My Raptors, I think they're going to at least make the play-in. And I'm predicting Celtics versus Thunder, with the Celtics having one of the deepest benches in the league and so many all-star caliber players led by Tatum, Brown, Holiday, Derek White, and Porzingis. And the Thunder having still so many draft picks to go along with their young core of Shea, Chet, and Jalen Williams. They could be extremely star-studded in the next year. I could see Shea versus Tatum being an absolute classic.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see what happens this season, and I'd love to see LeBron win his 5th ring and further cement himself as the GOAT. Speaking about LeBron and winning, he led Team USA to another gold medal at the 2024 Olympics.
Say what you will about this year's Olympics, but this will be one to remember. Japan, China, and the US of A all ending up in the top 3, with breakdancing making its record-breaking debut and closure.
The college football season's about halfway over. What are the biggest surprises for you this season, Sam?
With all the realignment, there have been so many strong teams biting the dust, with Texas, Ohio State, Alabama, and Georgia all losing games already. But Penn State and Ohio State's big game ends with Ohio State beating Penn State at the Big House.
That's right. Florida State's fallen off a cliff just a year after an ACC championship, and the Pittsburgh Panthers finally lose in an absolutely embarrassing fashion. But I'm still confident in my guys. Give me Pitt over Oregon for the national championship, unless they play SMU again. But anything can happen. That's going to wrap up this overtime segment. I've been Max Renda.
And I'm Sam Talebi.
Until next time, keep your eye on the finish line.